Hi everyone, today I just want to make a video about how you'll feel after 1 year sober and just what it's like. I really wish everyone could just jump in some sort of teleport machine and just go to a different life where they've been 1 year sober and just feel how good you feel, because it just really is an incredible experience. I originally quit in 2017, ended up stopping for about 5 years before I started drinking again, thought I could moderate, and before you knew it, I was binge drinking again at the weekends. Just such a stupid mistake. But in July of this year, 2025, I ended up quitting, and definitely one of the best decisions I'll make. And for me at the moment, alcohol is just like a hobby I used to do that I'm just completely not interested in at the moment. And I was never a wake up in the morning and dine for a beer kind of guy. I was just your quintessential British binge drinker, maybe out Friday or Saturday, sometimes both. Maybe an odd few beers on the Sunday, watching sports, etc. at the pub, but it just seemed to always be there, and it just was something that I really needed to just kick away and just not get involved in anymore. But thankfully I'm on a good path. But I think it's kind of important maybe to split up the 1 year into kind of three kind of time zones, because I think there's a real misconception that after a week off the booze or 2 weeks off the booze that you're just going to change your life around and you'll feel amazing. But it doesn't really work like that. I think the first week is completely different, and then you get the first few months, and then once you start getting up to the 1 year, the 9 months, the 2 years, etc., it's just a complete ball game. But in those first couple of weeks, I think what you're just trying to do is you're just trying to normalize your life, maybe after, if you've been drinking every day or you've been drinking at the weekends, and you're just trying to get out of this rut, and you'll be in this strange kind of zone where you're maybe even mourning alcohol, which is just incredible, but we all do it. You know, you've spent all your life doing it. That's just part of who you are. Your brain's been wired that way. It's just so habitual, maybe going to the pub at the same time every week. And it just takes a lot of effort and a different mindset to get out of it. But there's a lot of quick wins within that first few weeks. What will normally happen is, I find the anxiety from the booze will definitely go. That normally takes maybe 48, 72 hours. And that's just something that's just a complete quick win as well. Your sleep pattern, it'll still probably be terrible. Your energy levels won't be there. And I think that first couple of weeks is just, like I say, just a period of time where you're just trying to get through the first few weeks. You will be maybe on a high. I was chatting with somebody in the comments yesterday, and they said even after a week they were still feeling so much better. But I think, you know, that kind of adrenaline and the positivity from making that decision, kind of this, I'm now going to change my life, that can really boost you. But the first 2 weeks, like I say, you're kind of just finding yourself. And then I think, and a lot of this is just from personal experience and from speaking to people I know, once you start getting to kind of 1-2 months, it really just completely starts changing. The brain fog is the big one, I think, that starts to go. What you tend to be doing is now you're not just thinking about the day, because remember before, or how you'll get through the day. Remember before, when you'd wake up in the morning, you're at work, maybe it's Monday, Tuesdays, you're just thinking about the day ending, you're just wishing away that day. Whereas now, you're not spending any energy wishing days away. You're thinking about, what am I going to do this weekend positively? What am I going to do in a month? Where am I going to be in a year? And you just start making these different decisions. I found as well, my sleep got back. Definitely after 1 month, I was sleeping really well. Just going to bed earlier, the sleep pattern's there, and you're waking up in the morning just thinking, this is just amazing. I think you're really in this euphoric stage of, I can't believe how good it is. I remember just thinking after a month, after 2 months, that I would never feel like this again. That feeling that, when you were 7 years old or 10 years old and you'd get up with a spring in your step and jump out your bed, that's kind of there, and it's just absolutely amazing. And by that time as well, you've probably had a paycheck or two, and you're looking at it and thinking at the end of the month, I can't believe I have this much money left. And then you start thinking, what am I going to do with my money? Am I going to pay off my car loan? Am I going to pay off my phone, pay off my mortgage, or try and start paying chunks off it, start a savings account? It's really just amazing. And you notice your work's so different as well. you're just on the ball all the time, you're smashing everything. It's just an absolute amazing difference. You've maybe joined the gym as well. You're not going to be the fittest person in the world maybe because you've just started, but that routine's there. And I think importantly that habitual behavior is slowly starting to change. You're just kind of feeling that you're not normally thinking of the pub. You're not normally thinking on a Friday driving home that you need to go past the wine shop to pick up wine. That's kind of starting to leave. And then what happens is you end up getting to the stage where you're a year down. And I think the year milestone is just such a remarkable achievement to make. And going back to some of the videos I make about tips, I always tell people to track their time, because it's great, especially once you get a month in, 2 months in, and you see maybe all those X's on a calendar. And you don't need to buy an expensive calendar. You can get them for a few pounds, few dollars, few euros, whatever, and just Xing off those days, or you make an Excel sheet with a calendar and just put an X in it. And the app as well, apps like Days Since, where it'll give you a counter down. And I think that just sense of pride is just something that just money can't buy. You feel like you've conquered it. Never get complacent, of course, because you never really know. I ended up stupidly thinking I could moderate again and getting back on it at a point. But 1 year is just that massive achievement, and that puts you in a stride where I genuinely think a lot of people just stop tracking time. And there's a good argument. People think that you should keep alcohol close to you and always on your mind in case you relapse. But for me, I just completely forgot about it. And it's the same with me just now. I remember when I quit smoking back in the day. I wasn't a heavy smoker or nothing, but everybody in the office smoked. And I remember, after a while, you'd go into the shop and never even think of a cigarette. It was the same when you went to a party and people would offer you. And it's funny because it'll come up on you one day, because in the beginning you're like, oof, I can't believe I nailed that social event, didn't drink, brilliant. Then I went to the pub to watch the rugby or the football with my mates, didn't drink, brilliant. But then there'll be a period where you do that and you don't even think about it, and you'll wake up or you'll be walking along the street one day and you think, wait a minute, I've not even thought about booze the last month. That's wild. That's proper wild, amazing. And it's just an absolute great feeling. But for me, looking back on that first year, I ended up, I work in project management. I ended up doing loads of project management certificates, and they were quite expensive as well. But you've got all that money laying over. And these things that you do in that time, like go back to college, do courses, maybe grow a business, start a side hustle, they multiply over the years, and I've still got all those certificates. When I'm applying for jobs, I'm at the top of the list, I think, because I've got them all and I've got the experience. And you've got great experience because you ended up applying for jobs and you smashed the interviews because you were on top of it, and life just completely changes, and you maybe have a big savings account now, something like a nest egg, and that gets rid of loads of anxiety, because you're like, what, if I lose my job, I hardly spend anything during the month if I was really tightening my belt, because I'm not going out, I'm not buying alcohol at the shop. So I've got that little nest egg there, and if I do get sacked from my job, or there's redundancies, who cares? I'll just enjoy a couple of months off. I've got my savings, no big deal. And you've probably been on quite a few sober holidays as well, which are brilliant. You're up early having breakfast, just chilling out, walking about these beautiful cities, enjoying the sun every day, rather than on day 3 you can't even be in the sun because you're so hungover and dehydrated. And at one year as well, you'll have lost friends, and I think that's a big thing for a lot of people. But what I would tell you is that at the end, all your proper friends will still be there. And not only will they be there, you'll have a much better relationship with them. You'll be a better listener. You always turn up. You're super reliable. And it's the same with your family. If you've got kids or nephews, nieces, grandkids or whatever, you'll have been the best parent ever, the best grandparent, because you're always on the ball. You're just wanting to do stuff. You're wanting to spend time with people. You've got extra money to spend on them. And it's just remarkable. Every single thing that, alcohol promised you, that just being alcohol free delivers. And who wouldn't want that? You know, just great sleep, great energy, a big fat savings account, doing well at your job, maybe setting up that business you've always wanted to do, maybe doing that course you've always wanted to do. I mean, I set up this, we'd never have done it if I was still on the booze, just, you know, we'd have been hungover, you know, just a waste of time. And, you know, much better parent, better uncle, auntie, better grandparent, better brother, better sister. I mean, who wouldn't want that? And it all comes, and it's just, I think, getting through those first few months, and then you just get on this wave that now I think it's too much to give up. And it's not like a weight on your shoulder, oh, will I give up, will I not? It's just not even an answer. You know, you have this pot of gold here, which is your life now, versus this pot of crap, you know, and what do you choose? And I'll never go back. And like I say, I think once you get to a 1 year, the vast majority of people have that. So just try a 30-day challenge, you know, try and turn that into a 90-day challenge. I've got a few videos on it as well. I've got videos on tips on how to quit, tips on doing a 30-day challenge. And just change your life today, because there's nothing better than being alcohol-free and just smashing every single day and being truly happy inside yourself. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Take care, like and subscribe and all that, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.